international troops will continue to train, advise, and assist the Afghans, and fight alongside them when needed. But we will shift into a support role as Afghans step forward. But we must finish the job we started in Afghanistan and end this war responsibly.
This is what the American military is saying and the American government, but you don't believe it because you've seen to the contrary.
Yeah, and the British and American Marines on the ground don't believe it either. I mean, it's all it is now is about getting out and saving face.
Yeah. So,
and we're not leaving because we've achieved our goals. We're leaving because we've given up on achieving those goals. I think that's the only goal now, is to somehow look good as we pull out.
Everything from skimming ammunition off of their supplies to skimming fuel off of their shipments. There's false imprisonment. They'll take people during an engagement. They'll just wrap everybody up that was around it, and then they'll wait for the families to come in and pay them money to be able to release them. All of these vehicles are claimed on their monthly expenditures, so they're getting fuel and oil money for every single vehicle that you see, even though they can't run, they can't operate. Ammunition's the same thing. We count the rounds when they come off the vehicles here, and it's usually the rounds, the RPGs that are getting sold in the bazaar. That'll happen in transit because they know once they get it here and we take inventory of it, we're very watchful as to what's going on with that ammunition.
There are all kinds of other issues with the army. They're still completely dominated by the northern ethnic groups. There are very few southern Pashtuns, like 2 to 3% of the army are southern Pashtuns. So a lot of southern Pashtuns see the Afghan National Army as being almost as foreign as we look to them. One thing you do see is with these guys is they've got pictures of Massoud everywhere.
Right, who was the leader of the Northern Line.
Yeah, yeah.
But he was just another warlord like the other one.
Well, you talk to Afghans, and many Afghans will say, listen, you in the West love Massoud, but, you know, when they shelled Kabul, tens of thousands of civilians were killed. And entering into these southern villages with pictures of Massoud everywhere it's almost like me driving around New York with a picture of bin Laden, you know, in the window of my car. That's an exaggeration, but you don't look like the army who have come to protect and serve when you come in with pictures of Massoud and pictures of Dostum, who's probably the most brutal warlord in Afghanistan's recent history. These guys are the elected local officials, and the British are very proud. They created this local council, elected by 2,000 residents of Sangin. But I spent a whole day with them, and not one of them had a single good thing to say about what we've achieved there. Policy is designed as if everyone was educated, literate. There was a permanent police force there for years, as if the Taliban were no longer a problem, as if everybody wanted little girls to go to school. And it's all a fantasy, like, for 10, 20 years down the road. None of the things that need to be in place now.
Right. How many Marines do you think there are, like Major Stuber, that are torn like that know the truth?
I mean, that's a big thing that no one's talking about, is you've got hundreds of thousands coming back and hearing these statements, knowing it's utter bullshit, and I'm sure are coming back to all kinds of psychological problems and seriously demoralised. At least 4 guys I've met in Afghanistan have committed suicide since they got back. That's all you hear now is it's a success because 75, 80, 90% of the country is now in the hands of the Afghan security forces. Let's not talk about what those security forces are like. Let's not talk about their behaviour. The fact they're in the lead and we're coming home is success.
Yeah.
I mean, the Taliban attacks are up, civilian casualties are up, the fatalities for the Afghan soldiers and police are up. 310 a month is the latest estimate, every month. If that's not civil war already, I don't know what is. And you get the impression these guys aren't going to last either. I mean, certainly when they're on their own, they're not going to last. I mean, I spoke to a few Afghan friends who come from here and said, what do you think is going to happen to these guys after we really leave? He said half will join the Taliban, the other half will just vanish. A lot of people are saying that it hasn't worked the way we wanted to in Afghanistan. They're blaming it on the Afghans. Oh, they always fight each other. Oh, it's just tribal rivalries, I don't think that's true at all. I think there was a chance we could have got it right, but we put the worst people straight back into power after the bombing campaign, and because of the rush to get to Iraq. And you know, it's our fault that it hasn't worked out now.